Hello, good evening. Welcome to Woodlands Middle School Choice Options Showcase. My name is Eileen Southwick, and I'm the Choice Academy Coordinator here at Woodlands Middle School. I'm presenting to you this evening some of the exciting information about what we've got going on at Woodlands, our 4 Choice Academies, and some other information about our school as you're preparing to make choices about where you want your children to attend school next year. So we've got 4 fantastic choice academies here at Woodlands. We have our Cambridge Academy, our Pre-Information Technology Academy, Pre-Culinary. Those 3 are all choice options, which means they're available to anybody in the county. And then we also have our Pre-Medical Academy that is available in-house for those students who are zoned to attend Woodlands Middle School. So I'll go into each one of those programs with a little bit more detail. First, our Cambridge Academy comes to us from the University of Cambridge in England. They have a comprehensive, internationally recognized program, and our section of it is called Lower Secondary. So it is the equivalent of our middle school version for age 11 to 14 years. And we practice this school-wide. So we are a Cambridge International School. It is an academic academy, which means that it's going to be in the students' core classes. So those programs will cover their English, their math, and their science. And it's really targeting all learners, although we are going to push them outside of their comfort zone in terms of how they think and how they analyze. But it is completely an appropriate program for anybody at any level of learning, whether they're gifted, advanced, or regular. It's also going to prepare them for the more rigorous classes that they'll face in high school. So it's excellent preparation for any of our high school level programs. It's cross-curricular, so our science, our math, and our English teachers will work together on developing content that will bridge the gap. So they may be doing English-related assignments in their science class and math connections when they're in their English class, etc. And it's also going to cover the Florida standards that they will need as a Florida student, FSA, and those kinds of things as well. So our Cambridge students, we have these, what they call qualities of a Cambridge student or attributes. And it's these 5 components. First, we want our students to be responsible for themselves, respectful of others. They follow through on their work and on their assignments. We want our students to be innovative. So they're creative thinkers. They're not scared to share a new idea. They're equipped for those new future challenges without becoming overwhelmed with trying something new for the first time. We want them to be confident. So contributing to the class in a positive way, asking questions, answering questions, bringing their ideas to their group. We want them to be engaging. So again, interacting socially, ready to make a difference in our classroom and outside of our classroom as well. And then the final component of a Cambridge learner is that they are reflective. So they are aware of what they may know now, what they still have to learn. They can look back on what they've learned, revise and improve their thinking, and really kind of develop that forward thinking and a continual process of improvement. So these are the Cambridge habits of mind. It's a long list. I won't read them all to you, but again, the Cambridge model of instruction is going to be pushing the students to really kind of be good thinkers and good analyzers and questioning and seeking clear answers for things that they don't understand. So give you a minute to look over that list. And the students that are watching along with us, I want you to look at that list and think, do you like to ask questions? Are you curious about things? Those are the kinds of attributes that we're looking for in the habits of mind in our Cambridge learners. So parents, this slide's for you. We have over 125 universities in the United States that now recognize the quality of a Cambridge education. And those universities, including all of the Ivy League schools, recognize any student that comes out of a high school program that has Cambridge, a Cambridge diploma or an ACE diploma, as they're called in high school, that's an outstanding prediction of college readiness. And those universities recognize that a Cambridge education is a high quality one. It can also lead to access to some of those leading institutions worldwide. So it can, a Cambridge education that begins here with us at Woodlands can lead to a high school program, which can lead to Bright Future Scholarship, free tuition for Florida in-state schools. It's an outstanding opportunity that we're able to offer our middle school students. So you might be wondering, what does a Cambridge classroom look like? How is it different than any other traditional classroom? So first, all of our Woodlands classrooms will have these attributes. Again, we are Cambridge school-wide. So the Cambridge classroom is going to be a lot of talking. It's going to be discussion-based. The students will be working in groups. A little disclaimer that these pictures, some of them go back to pre-COVID. So it's more fun to see the kids interacting without masks. So I held on to some older pictures, but these are pre-mask mandates in some of these slides. The classrooms are very technology driven. So we're in a one-to-one with our Google Chromebooks as most classrooms are now, but we've got Google educated, Google certified teachers. So they're going to be building in those technology skills as they do their work. It's very student centered. The teacher is not going to be telling kids the right answer so much as helping them find their own way to an acceptable answer. We recognize that not all kids learn the same way, and we want them to make sure that they're analyzing their thinking. And one of the analogies that we use a lot of times in a Cambridge classroom is that you might get a different answer than a group next to you, but they could both be correct. So I may say, I'm taller than you, and you may say, you're shorter than me. I got that wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we could both be correct. So if it's I'm taller than you are and you're saying I'm shorter than you are, they're both correct answers, but they look different on paper, but that's okay. Those are both acceptable answers. We also, again, like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to build that cross-curricular process so that students are seeing their language arts skills showing up in more than just their English classes. And the same with math and with science. We have, for our students who are designated as gifted or advanced learners, we offer an accelerated path through the Cambridge Middle School program. So for those students, they would be in a gifted cluster for English. It would say Cambridge English, but they're going to be with other gifted students. And then in our math and our science classes, we have an accelerated program. So they would take the content of the typical middle school 6, 7, and 8, compress that into 2 years, or 1 year in math case, and then they would be able to get high school credits. So an accelerated math curriculum and an accelerated science curriculum to expose them to some of those high school math and science classes. Like I said, again, this tends to be a frequently asked question, so I just wanted to explain this with a little bit more detail. All of our Woodland students will have the Cambridge model of instruction. So we are a Cambridge school. Every Woodland student will see those Cambridge attributes showing up in their classrooms. If you are not zoned for Woodlands, then the way that you would participate in Cambridge is through the choice process, and you would apply to our Choice Academy. If you are zoned for Woodlands, then your students can still choose to apply through choice, but it wouldn't be a requirement because you can participate in that one way or the other. The Academy students will participate in the international assessments at the end of the school year that are helped to determine their ranking against other Cambridge students worldwide. So that's kind of an exciting opportunity. And if you have any further questions about Cambridge, we're going to do a breakout session at the end where you can speak with our Cambridge coordinator. A little bit about our Information Technology Academy now. Our pre-IT program is one for students who enjoy math, science, technology. They may enjoy playing on computers in their own time. And no matter what future career they really end up with, we all know that there's such a tech-heavy world right now. We want our students to develop those skills, whether it's safety on the computer or the designing and the programming. It'll give them an early career focus and really allow them to thrive in that IT world. So for this class for this program, it would be one class in 6th, one class in 7th, and one class in 8th. So this would be one of their elective options. They'll take Information and Communications Technology in 6th grade, Digital Discoveries in 7th, and then a high school credit course called Computer Fundamentals in their 8th grade year. We tend to have a lot of males apply for our pre-IT program, so we want to encourage our female applicants to consider this program. We do want to make sure that everyone's equally represented. So for our IT program, these students are going to master their keyboarding skills, their applications in Microsoft, so specifically Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and then other web-based software as needed to build that curriculum. They will do some database design, web design, and coding, coding with Python, HTML, if those are languages that you are familiar with. And we try to build projects in there so that the students are able to be creative and really kind of develop their own sense of style in their programming. So we tend to use those projects for them to build their skills. So for example, they may develop a website and then develop a calendar for their business, their make-believe business, business cards, a brochure. So they're using their creativity, but across several applications. And then as they get further through the course, there's going to be a lot about networking, internet safety, and then adding in some of those employability skills, multimedia, technical writing. Those are all things that would show up in the IT curriculum as well. These students have the opportunity to earn 2 separate industry certifications as well. This is an outstanding opportunity to show workplace readiness when they're still here with us in the middle school level. So this is an incredible thing. The 7th graders will take Microsoft Technology Associate, which is going to be an industry cert that demonstrates that they understand coding, web design, technical credibility, and the core content knowledge with Microsoft. Then in their 8th grade year, they take a CIW exam called Web Foundations Associate. That demonstrates that they've got a strong background in internet business, data networking, and website design. Okay, so again, we will have a breakout session for our tech classes if you've got any questions for our technology teacher. As soon as I'm done here, I'll let you break out to your Google Meets and ask them some questions. Next, I want to talk about our Pre-Culinary Academy. So this is going to be for students who are interested in careers related to hospitality and tourism, culinary industry. So front of the house, back of the house. We are in an incredibly rich tourism environment here in Florida. And even if they don't follow that as a career, we all need to eat. So it's a fun program to learn a little bit more about our food preparation, nutrition, safety, all while planning and developing some tasty food. So again, these classes would be 1 each year. There's a sequence of 3 courses. First would be Exploring Hospitality and Tourism Careers. The second is Fundamentals of Culinary Careers. And then in their 8th grade year, they take 2 half-year credits that are both high school credits as well, called Nutrition and Wellness and Principles of Food. The Culinary Classroom is a classroom in the front and a kitchen in the back. So they've got some lab space. They're able to develop their menus, cook and prepare the food. They don't cook every day, but they do cook often, especially when it can tie into their standards that they're covering. Similar to how we're pushing for some more females in IT, we would love to have some additional male applicants in our pre-culinary program. So encouraging those boys to apply. We will have a culinary breakout. So if you've got more questions about that, then stay tuned and I'll give you a Google Meet link for our culinary teachers. For our Pre-Medical Sciences Academy, this is a program for students who are interested in health occupations and medical professions, and also preparing them for traveling onto a high school program where they can earn some certifications at the high school level. So our students in pre-medical are, again, interested in a wide variety of professions, but we really emphasize problem solving, communication, some computer literacy, and developing them for the workplace. So this is a science and math heavy program with students who are, again, interested in those health occupations. These are all honors level courses, so that would be a benefit to the students' GPA. And we emphasize a lot of hands-on skills and exposing them to some of the real workplace level, workplace things that they would get a chance to do. So we are seeking more male applicants in medical. We tend to have a lot of girls apply for pre-med. We want to make sure that we've got everybody represented, so more boys are needed. In 6th grade, they take an elective called Orientation to Health Occupations. 7th grade is called Exploration of Health Occupations. And then in 8th grade, it's a high school credit called Medical Skills and Services. So some of the things that we do in our Pre-Medical Academy, we take some field trips, we do job shadowing experience, we do first aid and CPR training. We bring in guest speakers of all different kinds of health occupations to expose them to the variety of options that they have. And a lot of, again, hands-on skills, practicing those things that we are able to do with them in the middle school level. We will have a pre-medical breakout following my presentation, and you can ask those teachers some more questions as well. So there are no eligibility requirements for you to apply. These programs are open for anybody. There's nothing that you have to have ahead of time. Once these students are selected and they are a part of our academy, then we do have some membership requirements to maintain their academy membership. So our students are expected to maintain a minimum GPA. For Cambridge and for pre-medical, we expect that to be a 3.0. For pre-IT, it's a 2.5 GPA. And for pre-culinary, it's a 2.0 GPA, 2.0. We want our students to obviously come to school and not have too many unexcused absences. And also discipline is expected to be very good, with referrals and suspensions kind of staying off of their record. So our academy students are held to a high standard. A little bit about our school in general, because I know you're not just selecting a program, you're selecting a school for your child. So our Woodlands students have a 6-period day. The middle school day starts a lot later than our elementary schools do. So students would need to be in their first period class by 9:10 each morning. And then we get out at 4 p.m. So a much later start than what they're used to in elementary. Every day they'll have 6 classes. Their 4 core classes, as we call them, core classes, would be language arts, math, social studies, and science. And then they get to choose 2 elective courses. So things like PE, art, band, chorus, drama. We have foreign languages, Spanish and French. Journalism is our class that puts together our yearbook. Multimedia is the class that puts together our morning announcements. We also have Latinos in Action, and we have AVID for developing our skills for our college-bound students. Those 2 elective choices, if they're in IT, medical, or culinary, those academy classes would be one of those elective spots, and then they would still get to choose one more. We do, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we do have a rigorous curriculum. We have gifted program for our gifted students, and that can be through the Cambridge Accelerated program as well. And we also have honors or advanced sections. We have a long list of high school credits that we offer our middle school students. So by accelerating through some of those middle school classes, they're open to being able to take high school credits. Now, by getting high school credits out of the way in middle school, that frees them up in high school to start to accumulate some college credits when it's still free. So mom and dad, this is a good path for our students who are trying to reach those college credits before they leave their high school days. Thinking about high school, we have a track that prepares our students quite well for their high school journey. So I know it's not too early to start thinking about where they may be interested in traveling for high school and beyond. So as you're choosing one of our middle school programs, also think about how it will align with the high school. So students who are part of our Cambridge Academy or our Cambridge classes, it will prepare them for any high school program. The ones that most closely align would be the ACE or pre-ACE, because that's still part of the Cambridge University program, but also honors or International Baccalaureate or IB. It would also prepare them well for AP classes or dual enrollment, where they're taking college classes in the high school, or even just traditional programs where they're taking grade level type classwork. So these would be, our Cambridge Academy will prepare them well for high school of any kind. In our IT Academy, the IT program tends to branch out, and they get a lot more choices in terms of the depth of knowledge that they want to study in high school. But you can see whether they choose IT, innovative interactive technology, computer science, web digital design, or the new program cybersecurity. There's a lot of options that they can pick. So as you're looking at the list of high schools there, if you see any with a little star and asterisk, those are noted as in-house programs. So in other words, if you were zoned for Santa Lucia's, then you can sign up for cybersecurity or web and digital design. If you're not zoned, then that may not be an option for you. Our culinary arts program, there are a lot of high schools with a culinary program. So you can see, again, the list there. The ones that have choice programs would be Palm Beach Central, Lake Worth High, Palm Beach Gardens, and Santa Lucia's, and West Boca. The others are in-house programs designated with an asterisk. Medical sciences, the students who leave our medical program are eligible to apply to a medical science program in the high schools. Again, a lot of high schools have a medical program, and the ones with the stars specifically mentioning our feeder schools of Park Vista and Santa Lucia's, those are in-house. So if you're not zoned for one of those schools, those would not appear on your choice application. And by the time your students reach high school, our new neighboring high school, which is currently called Triple O, that will likely be opening in the fall of 23. So we'll have an updated list for your kids. Once they reach high school, there will probably be more options available to them as well, as that new school will be opening up. Our students at Woodlands, we have Mustang Pride, and Pride stands for positive attitude, respect, integrity, dedication, and excellence. We want to make sure that our students are demonstrating that Mustang Pride, whether they're on the school bus, in our classrooms, in our courtyard, cafeteria, at their sports and activities, wherever they are. That's what we hold our students accountable for. So that you will see that in our students at wherever they are. There is a dress code for our middle school students here at Woodlands. They wear our school colors, which is a solid navy blue, white, or gray, or black polo shirt. Most students are in a polo. Button down is fine as well, as long as it is a shirt with a collar. Woodlands t-shirts are also okay. So a spirit shirt from our PTSO, or a Woodlands team or Woodlands club t-shirt, those are acceptable any day of the week as well. They can wear any sort of pants except for white. They cannot have rips or tears, and they cannot be leggings or jeggings. But any kind of jeans, cargo, cotton twill, those are fine pants for them to wear. Shorts are okay also, as long as they go to the knee. Shoes need to be closed toe and closed heel, so sneakers or something similar. No open toes, no Crocs, none of that stuff. Our students wear their IDs on a lanyard so that we know that they belong with us here at Woodlands. You can see in our picture there that lanyards also designate what grade level they're in. So that's an easy way for us to make sure our campus is safe and secure. If they need to wear a jacket or a sweatshirt, then those are also going to be in our school colors, navy, white, gray, or black. The transition to middle school is a big one. We are completely aware of the fact that this is a big step. Your students haven't made such a big change probably since they started kindergarten. And then they've been, most of our students have been in one spot for the last 5 or 6 years. So we know that this is a big jump for you as you're preparing for them to come to us in middle school. And we're here to assist you with that transition. So one of the important parts about Woodlands, and the things that what makes us special, is that we've got an emphasis on social and emotional learning. So each day we have the middle of the day period when students have lunch is a longer class period. So we build into every day a Mustang meeting, which is a daily check-in with our students, gives them time to interact with one another in a fun and unstructured way, where they get to know each other and find support in one another and support their needs. We also have 3 school counselors, 1 for each grade level, and we have behavioral health professionals. So the students have people that they can go to if there's ever a need or an issue where they are requiring a little bit more support. As our students prepare for the beginning of school, we have what we like to call our Mustang mini camp, which is usually held in late July, where it'll be like a half a day or so where the students come in. Our counselors run that day where they can kind of run around the school, find their way around, little scavenger hunt, some team building activities, so that on the first day of school, they know what Woodlands looks like and feels like, and they'll feel at home then when school starts. We also have our 6th graders move on a separate bell schedule, partly to ease the crowding in the hallways, but also just to have them feel like it's a smaller, more comfortable, more cozy environment. There's a bell that rings at the end of class where the 6th graders move. Then when they're in their next class, then the 7th and 8th graders move. So they change classes, just slightly shifted from our 7th and 8th graders, so that it's just 6th graders in the hallways when the 6th graders are moving around. We also have a lot of sports and clubs that I want to share with you. Sometimes this is the most exciting part of middle school for our students, is getting to be part of our sports teams or our clubs. As you can see on our list here, we've got basketball, baseball and softball, soccer, track, volleyball, cheerleading, lots of ways students can participate. A common question is, can they do more than one sport? Yes, they can. We have 3 different sports seasons, so they can't do 2 sports within the same season, but they could do a fall, a winter, and a spring sport of their choice. We have a lot of clubs. This is just a small list of some of the ways our students can get involved. We have some of them will meet before school and some will meet after school. So they are more than welcome to participate in more than one club if they choose. They don't meet every week. So sometimes it will be certain days of the week or every other week. So lots of ways for our students to find not only a club where they feel like they fit and are interested, but also students like them. So they've got a group where they feel really supported. Transportation is something that I want you to consider as you're making your school choices. So the transportation zone will show the area where students can get a bus. The choice schools, so if you're coming from outside of our attendance boundaries, the choice transportation may not be your normal home zone bus stop. So it may not be as close as what your neighborhood bus would be to bring them to your neighborhood school. Transportation will not be able to add additional bus stops. So consider transportation as you're making your choices. Excuse me. We want to make sure that you're able to either provide transportation or get them to a bus stop that's within the choice zone. So in August, you'll be able to click on the Make Your Choice tile in the student portal and register for a bus so that you can see exactly where those are. Here's a little glimpse of our choice transportation zone. So we do, they need to update this map. So our attendance zone does go quite a bit further south now than what this shows, but you can see we go all the way east over to Military Trail. So that would kind of gives you an idea of where a choice bus stop may be available for your child if you live within that blue box. So if you're interested in our programs, there are a few steps I want you to follow. Starting now, available now is our choice application. So you can visit mypbchoiceapp.com. There is no first come, first serve, so you don't have to race over there and apply right away. The deadline is January 28th. However, if you have one of the arts programs, so if you're using like Palm Springs or Bach or one of those arts programs with auditions that are required, then your application deadline for your whole application will be December 17th. But if you don't have an arts program, then your deadline is January 28th. Then over the winter, we will process all of those applications and run our lottery, and then students will be notified of whether they were accepted or not on April 1st of next year. I do want to draw your attention to the fact that some of the programs have a required fee or a required uniform purchase. For example, our pre-med students will wear scrubs once a week. Medical and culinary have a fee to kind of offset some of those supplies and consumables that we have. I want to spend just a few minutes on some of these frequently asked questions so that I can save you your curiosities, and then we will get to our breakout sessions. So do I have to apply if Woodlands is my home school? This is a common question. Yes, because those spots will often fill up. Now, particularly for culinary, IT, and medical, we want to make sure you do submit a choice application. If you are only thinking about Cambridge, then your child will be a Cambridge student if you're zoned for Woodlands one way or the other. So you would not necessarily have to submit a choice application for Cambridge unless you chose to. But definitely for culinary, for IT, and for medical, please do use the choice application to submit your interest in those programs because they will fill up. What's the difference between the Cambridge Academy and non-academy? Common question. So they both are going to be the Cambridge school-wide. So our Cambridge frameworks are going to be infused into the Florida standards. So in their science class, math, and in English, they're going to be hitting both Florida standards and Cambridge standards. The learning is going to be a higher level of rigor. It's going to be more of an international approach, a global perspective of learning. And again, will allow them to be ranked against other Cambridge scholars internationally. Can I participate in more than one academy? So according to the choice application process, you can only be accepted to one academy and not more than one. However, internally, after the choice applications have been processed, if we have any open seats remaining, then we will fill those. So if you are interested in doing more than one academy, I have a Google form that I will send out to our applicants. You can just submit that Google form that lets me know that you would like a spot in IT as well as culinary if there are any seats remaining. So The best strategy would be to put that elective option first. So don't put Cambridge as your first choice, especially if you're zoned for us, because Cambridge is an easy add-on. Those elective programs are going to be the ones that fill up the fastest. So that should be your first choice to get your best chances of having more than one program. You might see on the choice application, you might see where it's designated that we are a 95% capacity school. What does that mean? So normally, if your home school has a program and you are interested in a similar program at another school besides your home school, the district would force you to have your first choice as your home school. But for those schools like us that are close to capacity, they don't want you to miss out on a chance to get into a program if you would not have been able to get it at your home school because we're so full. So Woodlands is on the 95% list. So if you had your eye on another program at another school, but we also offer it, it won't force Woodlands to be your first choice. It would allow you to have another option as your first choice. So again, that's just kind of a description of what that means. If you want to come to Woodlands, then it of course will allow you to put Woodlands as your first choice. It's more so if you didn't want your home school, it may free up that option for you for those schools that are on the 95% list. What's the difference between Cambridge and gifted? So not much really, because if you were listening when I talked about our Cambridge Accelerated program, that's going to meet the needs of our gifted students. So they will be in our accelerated math and accelerated science classes. So the students that are gifted will take, especially if they're coming from the elementary schools with the AMP program, they'll take 7th grade math as a 6th grader. And then they'll be in high school algebra in 7th, high school geometry as an 8th grader. That will be the math track. And then for science, they'll take accelerated math in 6th and 7th. So that will compress 6, 7, and 8 curriculum into 2 years of learning. And then their 8th grade year, they can take high school physical science. And those will be taught by teachers that are both Cambridge trained as well as gifted endorsed. So we will be meeting the needs of our gifted students that way. Some parents sometimes say, I can't find medical on my list. So there's one of two things that could be happening. Number one, if you're not zoned for us, then it will not appear on your list at all, because again, medical is an in-house program. The other trick to this is that the in-house programs are listed all the way at the top of the list. So what people will frequently do is hit the drop down where you're selecting a program. They scroll all the way to the bottom to find Woodlands, and then medical's not there. So I'm suggesting that you scroll all the way back to the top. In-house programs are listed at the top. So Woodlands pre-medical would be at the very, very top of the list with all of the choice options listed below. Can I change my application after I submitted it? So if I just told you something amazing and you now wish you could resort your options or pick one of our programs where you had selected another school, you are allowed to make one change before the application deadline. Once you've made one change, it's locked. And once that deadline has passed, then it's locked. But you are able to log back in the same way you created your application. You can get back in and make one adjustment before the deadline has passed. So we are here for your assistance. Several of these people are available tonight. And if you had any questions for us outside of tonight, then of course we are here to help you. Some of you have unique circumstances and you want to speak to one of these people in particular. So I've got their names up here and I'm happy to help you facilitate the conversation with you and, for example, our ESE coordinator or our ESOL coordinator or something like that if you had a question unique to your family. I'm Eileen Southwick, again, our Choice Academy coordinator. And next we will get to our breakout sessions. So you'll be able to talk to Mr. Hochdanner, our pre-IT teacher, Mrs. Sanfilippo, our pre-culinary teacher. Mrs. DeWalt is one of our pre-medical teachers, and Mrs. Henning is our Cambridge coordinator. My email is there. You can feel free to contact me with any questions if I didn't answer your question in the chat box tonight. And you can also, if it's a general process question related to the choice application, then those folks in the choice department are available and ready to assist as well. You can reach them at choicequestions@palmbeachschools.org. Our webpage has a lot of information on it as well, so feel free to search through the materials that we've got there. You can find that at wdms.palmbeachschools.org. Thank you so much for visiting with us tonight, and I look forward to answering any of your questions and meeting you when you come visit us next year as a 6th grader. Have a great night.